Alright, so if you guys watched the last video, you'll know that the transmission is coming out. We're going to swap out fourth gear, and fourth gear is going to be supplied from Gforce. And I pulled this gearbox out before and put it in and taken it out with my buddy Tyler. Tyler's not here, but I do have an extra set of hands who's going to help me. And it's really simple though. It's just the drive shaft, the four bolts for the tranny mount, and 4 bolts that connect the gearbox to the bell housing. So it's very simple. It's a small transmission. I'm going to put up a table to set it on, and we're going to separate it. And I'm going to get Rad Dan on the phone to give us a little bit of advice to make our lives easy. So I'm under the car right now. This is the tranny cross member, and this is going to come off. We're going to drop the exhaust, get it out of the way, and then which is just these 2 V-band clamps there and there, which is probably out of focus. Drive shaft bolts are already out, so we'll slip the drive shaft out, and then we've got can you see there's 4 bolts to connect the transmission to the bell housing, so I'm going to get that off. Alright, GSR is out. I'm going to move my bumper. This thing's been curing up, and still got some sanding to do, but I'll move this out of the way, put the GSR up here. So right now, what I'm doing is pulling the top case off, which is going to allow us to see all the gears, dog rings, the sliders, everything. Check the shift forks that are on the bottom of this case. And then we'll separate the gearbox and be able to check the number on the side of the gear to figure out if it's an Andrews gear, if it's a Gforce gear, and then order the correct part. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'll show you what it looks like once this case is off. Alright, there she is. So now I'm going to throw some light on here and show you guys where we are seeing wear. Alright, so this is fourth gear right here. If you guys look close, if this thing will focus, you can see there's like some chunks, not chunks, but it almost looks like just like scuffs. Well, when that happens, from what I've been told, that's when you know the gear is about to go bye-bye. Now, if this thing explodes inside here, there's the chances of all those pieces from the shattered gear fucking up other gears, dog rings, sliders, anything and everything in between. So what we want to do is we want to replace that now before that happens. So fourth gear, rough shape. Dog rings look good. This is the slider. Slider looks pretty good. There's some little bits of wear on it, but nothing too bad. Now third gear, before the last time I opened this thing up, it looked really good, but now we're starting to see all that wear right there. So I'm probably going to replace that as well. Output shaft is in good shape. Input shaft is in good shape. We're just going over every little thing to make sure that nothing else needs to be replaced while it's out. So kind of going over it with a fine-tooth comb. The next thing is to basically slide the whole gear assembly out and not mix anything up. There's little issues like, hold this real fast, little issues like these will just kind of fall out. Look at that bearing. You don't want to lose that or fuck that up. So we'll let the oil hold that together. But we're making progress. Alright, we're going to call it a night. I've already filmed one video today. Come back out tomorrow. I gotta go buy a snap ring tool. There's 3 snap rings that gotta come off for this case right here to slide off, which will then slide all the gears and dog rings out. And then we can check to see what number is on the 4th gear and 3rd gear, and that way Gforce can match it and send me a new gear. And we'll slap it back together, put it back in the car, and go drifting. That's the plan. Alright, so despite some gear oil on the table, this thing's ready to slide apart. And we'll get our number. You can see I've already kind of separated it to make sure it was going to come out. And we're going to slide it out. Get this gear off. Make sure that everything is set up how we know it's supposed to go. So the process of putting it back together is smooth. Okay, we'll take the case out of the way. Here we are. This is the bottom gear for 4th. This is the top gear, which I'm going to slide off in a second. That's our bad one. And then also it looks like 3rd gear is in some rough shape. So a little bit more work than I had anticipated. Not more work, but more parts needed. But it is what it is, and we're going to get them and get this thing back together. I'm going to pull these gears off and give you guys one more look at how fucked up they are.
Ooh, nice. Simple enough.
I really don't want that to get fucked up. Trying to hold that together. Okay, dog ring facing down. Facing down. Slide that back. Oh shit.
Is that for you?
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so I just spoke to Micah and sent him the part numbers that we need. Basically, I thought this is the top gear for 4th, and I thought that this was the only one that had issues. And if you look, if I can get this camera to focus, there you go, kind of. Okay, so you can see the wear marks. That's really bad, and that weakens the teeth. If one of these teeth was to snap off, it could possibly damage a lot of other things inside the gearbox, like the needle bearings, other gears, the dog rings. So now that we have it all apart, we can inspect everything. We don't need to pull first and second apart. They're in good shape. So that's the top gear for fourth. Here is the top gear for third. If I can get the focus again, we can see all the wear, big chunks taken out of these teeth. Rough shape. We're lucky it got through that Georgia event. Okay, and then here is the bottom gear for third, which is also in very, very rough shape. So, we got it apart, and my camera's not focusing. It's apart, and it's going to stay apart for the next probably 5 days. Maybe a little longer because it is the weekend until we get our new parts. We checked over the needle bearings, and they all look good. We're not missing any. There's also some bearings right here. This is the input shaft. They look good. Input shaft looks good. Output shaft looks good. Sometimes these will twist. Not necessarily the Gforce one, but other dog boxes and output shafts will twist. And this one is in great shape. So moving over here, we have our shift forks, and they seem to be in good shape. So nothing changing over here. We're going to leave that alone and leave all of this alone for the next 5 days or so until our new parts get here. And then when they get here, it'll take about 30 minutes to put back together probably. I'm going to be able to clean all this now because it's out. So could use a good pressure wash, and I'm back in the car and driving by the end of next week. That's going to do it for the transmission video. I appreciate you guys watching, and we will make another video when we put it back together, put it back in the car. And no events, I don't think, until July 1st, which is an event at Gainesville, the firm we're going to go to, which is only a couple hours for me, so it works out perfect. And in the meantime, I'm not really sure what I'm going to do for content. Maybe finish up this fiberglass stuff in tomorrow's video, and then chill for a couple days. Maybe I'll do a live stream. I've also been debating on whether or not to possibly do a podcast once a week and upload the video of the podcast to YouTube. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below. I don't really know what's going on with the views of the videos, but they're way down, like insanely down. There's been times where they've been down a little bit, but this is crazy. So I don't know, comment if you're not getting notifications, comment if it's unsubscribed to you, and hopefully we can get those back up. Thanks guys.